Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm John Lazarus with Stories Matter and D&D Publishing. Today's video is the first in our Platinum Club series, which will cover topics targeting the more successful subscribers of this channel, established writers who are starting to see some solid book sales. We'll cover topics from investing your book revenue in high-yield bonds, to what to do with a dead hooker, to what to do with an alive hooker. Authors who've sold 1,000 copies of their book will gain immediate membership in our Platinum Club. But for those who know their big break is right around the corner and want to plan ahead, you can also gain membership by purchasing 5 D&D Publishing titles and submitting the receipts to my sister's son, Bradley, at this email. And we'll kick off the series with one of the first markers of writing success, being followed by a dangerous, unstable stranger. Having a stalker can be a terrifying and flattering experience, and it can be tough to balance your fear of being gunned down in your doorway with your need to be constantly praised. We'll keep our eyes open and move to an undisclosed location on this edition of Stories Matter. Today's Platinum Club video is brought to you by Kopi Luwak. For those of you in our Platinum Club who are used to the finer things in life, kick off your day with a smooth, nutty cup of Kopi Luwak coffee. This rare Malaysian delicacy is hand-picked by some of the hardest workers in the Malaysian rainforest, the Malaysian palm civet. These guys pick only the best beans, process them, and then blast them out their asshole for you to enjoy. A warm cup of Kopi Luwak is like eating the ass of God himself. Visit your local barista for more information. Now, the first question you might have is, John, haven't the internet, COVID, the obesity epidemic, and rising gas prices moved all stalking online now? It's an excellent question, but you're getting ahead of me. We'll talk about online stalking in a bit, but for the sake of this video, we'll assume you're popular enough, or at least have a hot enough mouth, to get another human to overcome all those obstacles, and the increasingly inclement weather produced by climate change, to follow you to your home. Today's video will be broken into 4 parts: identifying if you're being stalked, distancing yourself, collecting evidence, and asking for help. What is stalking? According to the judge at my second wife and my custody hearing, stalking is repeated and unwanted contact. But that can be a bit vague. After all, if that were true, I'd never be legally able to hire anyone. And when I first made it big, I often confused my postal carrier and the local census worker as a stalker. But unlike those guys, a stalker needs to be someone who follows you even after you've put up some resistance. Types of stalkers. Most stalkers want the same thing the rest of us do: love. If you're a man like me with an incredible sex drive, it can be difficult to know if you're being stalked by a pretty woman. Let me share a story. I knew this woman once, a large-breasted college student named Daphne, who also happened to be double-jointed. Daphne was a big fan and introduced herself to me after I gave a reading on campus. We ended up having sex that night, though I didn't realize it at the time. That's when the stalking began. She'd make me take her to restaurants and movies, and she'd complain if we didn't talk for at least 30 minutes every day. She'd come over to my house after work, and even suggested moving in with me and paying her share of the rent. I kept having sex with her, obviously. But if I had realized how much danger I was putting myself in, I might have acted differently. Though less common, there are other types of stalkers. Death obsessives who want to involve you in their murder-suicide, cannibals who just want a taste of greatness, and child stalkers who will claim you impregnated their mom 15 years ago before you switched towns. Avoid unintentional signs or messages. So once you realize you're being stalked, it's important you don't escalate the situation. When I came on Daphne's face or did other things I can't mention on this channel, I was symbolically suggesting that I didn't mind being stalked. The best thing to do is just stay completely silent, otherwise you might erroneously send mixed messages. A simple phrase like "go away" might seem straightforward enough, but to a stalker only proficient in Choctaw, they might assume that you meant "explore my body." Hide your personal information. When I was a hungry young writer, I put my phone number and email address on the front cover of all my books. At the time, it seemed like the easiest way to get the attention of literary agents and publishers. I stopped doing that once I started selling my books at actual bookstores, but unfortunately a few enterprising fans found the few copies of those early books that weren't incinerated. And while I don't think I would have minded receiving daily locks of Daphne's hair in the mail, you might not know where that hair is coming from. But speaking of, collecting evidence. If a stalking case gets really out of hand, you might need to do a little stalking back at them. Keep any messages they send you. Record any phone calls. Follow them to their home. Turn it into a descriptive writing exercise if you don't want to waste precious writing time. In Daphne's case, I memorized the locations of all the moles on her body, the location of her parents' summer house, and I even collected a sizable amount of her urine, which is something I do for all my female companions, stalker or otherwise, just so I can get a third-party pregnancy test. Contact the authorities. If you have a dog you don't particularly like, you could consider calling the police. While they'll most likely ignore you, especially if you're a woman, it will at least be nice to get all your frustrations off your chest, and it's certainly cheaper than therapy. Notify your friends, family, and coworkers. This one comes with a caveat. If you are being cyberstalked, it's very likely that you actually know the person who's doing it. It could be a family member who's upset you didn't include their ideas in your latest novel, or a coworker who doesn't understand why you used a phony cancer GoFundMe to fund your marketing campaign. If you are that rare type of writer with a loving family and supportive friends, you could enlist them to help you scare the stalker away. If you don't have that, and YouTube analytics tell me that's likely, you could also post about it on social media. Of course, your followers could help you, but this could also lead to a multitude of copycat stalkers. But if you're very lucky, it may even lead to some sort of battle royale situation where, after days of unspeakable bloodshed, one final stalker reigns supreme, and sickened by the senseless violence, your champion stalker realizes the error of their ways and decides to walk the earth in search of meaning. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll leave you with this week's This Day in Literary History. See you on the next one.